Hello and welcome to Housing TV News, coming to you from our studios in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Kelechi Anorwe. Our top stories. Tinubu commissions Africa's first renewable energy college. Tinubu approves military pay rise. Wage bill hits 924 billion naira. Doctors suspend planned strike after presidency intervention. In the business, Dangote targets $5 billion IPO for refinery expansion. In the build sector, federal government reaffirms commitment to 100,000 housing units. And in sports, 4 Ugandan boxers missing after Commonwealth Games. On the foreign scene, Cisco halts Mexican lettuce purchases over health outbreak. Now the news in detail. President Bola Tinubu has commissioned Africa's first barefoot renewable energy college and the green hydrogen research and demonstration pilot plant in Kogi State, describing the facilities as a major step towards positioning Nigeria as a continent's leader in renewable energy innovation and technical capacity development. The projects are designed to train skilled professionals and accelerate the country's clean energy transition. Represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, the president said the new college would equip technicians, installers, and maintenance experts with practical renewable energy skills, while the pilot plant would advance research into green hydrogen technologies. He called on development partners and the private sector to collaborate in expanding renewable energy research and innovation across Africa. President Bola Tinubu has approved a salary increase of between 30 and 80% for about 250,000 personnel of the Nigerian Armed Forces, raising the military's annual wage bill from 660 billion naira to 924 billion naira. The new pay structure, which takes effect on September 1st, 2026, grants the highest increase of 80% to junior personnel, while senior officers will receive increases ranging from 30 to 50%. The presidency said the salary review is aimed at improving troop welfare and boosting morale as security forces continue to confront terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, and other security threats nationwide. President Tinubu reaffirmed his administration's commitment to modernizing the armed forces with improved equipment and technology, stressing that national security remains essential to Nigeria's development. The Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors has suspended its planned nationwide strike following the intervention of the presidency, ending days of negotiations over unpaid salary arrears, allowances, and welfare concerns. The decision followed fresh commitments by the federal government to address the doctors' outstanding demands. The association said it would closely monitor the implementation of the agreements reached, warning that it could resume industrial action if the government fails to honor its promises. The suspension is expected to avert disruptions to healthcare services across public hospitals nationwide. The Abia State House of Assembly has passed a landmark housing bill to establish the Abia State Property and Tenancy Regulatory Authority, a move aimed at sanitizing the real estate sector, protecting tenants and property owners, and strengthening regulation of housing transactions across the state. The new authority will oversee the activities of estate agents, landlords, and property managers, enforce professional standards, and resolve disputes within the sector. The legislation is expected to improve transparency, curb fraudulent practices, and create a more investor-friendly housing market in Abia State. Now we take a pause here, and up next are news stories from the business and build sector.
The strength of a nation begins with the strength of its communities. Housing TV Africa, informing, educating, inspiring.
You are watching Housing TV News at the top of the hour. In business, Dangote Petroleum Refinery is targeting a $5 billion initial public offering IPO expected to conclude in October, with the proceeds earmarked for expanding its Lagos refinery's capacity from 650,000 barrels per day to 1.4 million barrels per day. The listing is expected to become Africa's largest IPO, broadening investor participation in the refinery. The planned expansion is aimed at boosting fuel production, strengthening Nigeria's energy security, and increasing refined petroleum exports across Africa. The IPO is also expected to attract both local and international investors as Dangote seeks to position the refinery among the world's largest refining operations. Over to the build sector. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to delivering 100,000 housing units before the end of the current administration, describing the target as a key component of its renewed Hope Housing program. The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Engineer Mutaka Rabe Darma, said several projects are already at advanced stages across the country and will be delivered to beneficiaries upon completion. The minister also assured Nigerians that the recent fire incident at the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria would not affect the government's housing agenda, stressing that critical records will safely be backed up through the bank's digital systems. He urged the public to remain confident in the government's commitment to expanding access to affordable housing. Mortgage banks have called for this accelerated implementation of the Ministry of Finance Real Estate Investment Fund, MREF, describing it as a critical vehicle for expanding access to affordable mortgages and addressing Nigeria's housing deficit. They said faster deployment of the fund would unlock long-term financing and boost home ownership across the country. The lenders urged stakeholders to expedite fund disbursement and broaden participation to ensure more Nigerians benefit from affordable housing finance. They maintained that a well-executed MREF would strengthen the mortgage sector, attract private investment, and support sustainable housing delivery nationwide. The Tertiary Education Trust State Fund has called on universities, researchers, and built environment professionals to develop practical research-driven solutions to Nigeria's housing deficit. Executive Secretary Sonny Ekono said innovation must focus on reducing construction costs, promoting affordable housing, and increasing the use of locally sourced building materials. Speaking during a meeting with the Female Architects of Nigeria, FAN, Ekono urged researchers to produce market-ready technologies that can be adopted by government and the private sector to transform housing delivery. He stressed that homegrown innovations are essential to making housing more affordable, sustainable, and accessible for Nigerians. We take another pause, and coming up are stories from the sports and foreign scene.
Did you know housing contributes significantly to economic growth, job creation, and national development? Stay informed, stay connected, stay with Housing TV Africa.
You are still watching Housing TV News. On sports, 4 members of Uganda's boxing team have been reportedly missing in Scotland after the conclusion of the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. The athletes failed to rejoin their teammates ahead of the team's scheduled return home, prompting Police Scotland to launch an investigation alongside UK immigration authorities. Reports indicate the missing boxers may be seeking asylum in the United Kingdom in pursuit of better training opportunities and professional boxing careers. Ugandan sports authorities are working with Scottish officials to trace their whereabouts, while investigations into the circumstances surrounding their disappearance continue. On the foreign scene, Cisco, the largest food distributor in the United States, has stopped purchasing iceberg lettuce from Mexico following a nationwide outbreak of cycloporiasis linked to contaminated produce. The company said it has shifted its sourcing to U.S.-grown lettuce as part of efforts to protect consumers and ensure food safety. The outbreak has been linked to iceberg lettuce supplied by Taylor Farms in central Mexico and served at some restaurant chains, with health authorities continuing investigations into other possible sources. U.S. health officials have recorded more than 10,000 confirmed cases of the illness, prompting major changes across the country's food supply chain. And that's the news story on Housing TV Africa. Before we go, let's give you a recap of our top stories. Tinubu commissions Africa's first renewable energy college. Tinubu approves military pay rise. Wage bill hits 924 billion naira. Doctors suspend planned strike after presidency intervention. In business, Dangote targets $5 billion IPO for refinery expansion. In the build sector, federal government reaffirms commitments to 100,000 housing units. On the foreign scene, Cisco halts Mexican lettuce purchases over health outbreak. For more news in the housing sector, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Housing TV Africa. Follow our social media platforms and download the Housing TV mobile app and free TV app on Google Play Store and Apple Store to stay connected. Many thanks for watching. I am Kelechi Anure. Bye for now.
Visit Housing TV Africa on YouTube and click on the subscribe button. Subscribe to Housing TV Africa to stay updated on latest happenings in Nigeria's housing sector. Follow our social media pages, like and share our posts on Facebook, Housing TV Africa, on Twitter, Housing TV Africa, Instagram, Housing TV Africa. Join the conversation and keep up with latest housing updates.